Hello and welcome to the South Indian. My name is Sudha Sadanand. And let's get started with the top headlines from the south of India on your screens right now. Karnataka High Court to hear plea seeking CBI probe into Muda case on 19th of December. Asha workers protest at the DME office in Koti, Hyderabad, demanding salary hike. Police use force to disperse protesters. Tributes pour in for veteran politician and former Karnataka Chief Minister S.M. Krishna, who passed away this morning at the age of 92. Tamil Nadu CM Muka Stalin denies meeting Adani Group chairperson Gautam Adani as opposition alleges a secret meeting between the two. Kerala High Court rules against use of flex boards, congratulating government officials and TDP members in temple premises. Karnataka CM Siddaramaiah writes to Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, reminds him of the offer to build 100 houses in landslide hit Wayanad. And a very, very interesting mix of stories in this edition of the South Indian on News9. Coming up first, right on top, the Mohan Babu family feud. Property dispute escalates between actor father and actor son Mohan Babu and son Manchu Manoj. The burning political story in Karnataka, Panchamasalis hold protest demanding reservation. Police uses force as Siddaramaiah's government comes under tremendous pressure. And the controversy over Telangana Thalli statue rages. BRS holds Palabhishekam. Revath Reddy defends the new statue and the design. And BBMP proposes a 1200 crore flyover even as Bengaluru's road remain filled with killer potholes. What an irony, ladies and gents. Alright, our top story is this today, the Mohan Babu family feud. Almost like what happens in real life is now unfolding in real life as well. The Telugu film industry has had the distinction of being dominated by a few families whose contribution is seen to be immense in the growth of cinema in the state. Prominent amongst them are the NTR, Akkinenin, Daggubati, Konidala and also the Manchu family. Today the industry has witnessed a huge family feud which broke out in full public glare involving veteran actor Mohan Babu, the star best known for films such as Swaragam Naragam, Simmagarjana, Son of India. Take a look at that footage which is on your screens right now and then I come back to it. And striking another man. This is TV9 Telugu exclusive footage. Our sister concern which has exclusive coverage on the biggest story so far as the film industry is concerned in the Telugu speaking state of Telangana as well as Andhra Pradesh, because Mohan Babu belongs to both. Look at that closely. Once again a man striking another one and walking away. Alright then, the physical fight involved 78-year-old Mohan Babu and his younger son Manchu Manoj, who happens to be his son, born out of the actor's second marriage to Nirmala Devi after Mohan's first wife Vidya Devi passed down after giving birth to two children, Manchu Lakshmi Prasanna and Manchu Vishnu. Mohan filed a police complaint against his son Manoj and daughter-in-law Monica, claiming that even as they left their 7-month-old baby at home in the care of caregivers, they arrived to threaten him, an old man, and requested the police to provide him protection. Mohan Babu further said, and I am quoting him here, Manoj Manchu, along with some anti-social elements employed by him, caused a disturbance on Sunday at his house, Manchu Town, in Jalpalli in Rangareddy district. I fear for my safety. my valuables and my property. I have been informed that these individuals are waiting for me to return to my house with the intent to harm me and instill fear, compelling me to abandon my residence permanently. All those individuals are antisocial elements and are causing fear and threat to life to those who are at my home, including me. Now, Manoj, the son, also approached the police station at around 7 p.m. and claimed that intruders had in fact entered the property in Jalpalli and attacked him when confronted, and then they fled. Manoj submitted hospital records as evidence and mentioned that CCTV footage had been also erased completely. According to the hospital, the 41-year-old actor was admitted with injuries consistent with blunt trauma and abrasions. The report further noted notable injuries include blunt trauma to the abdomen and cervical spine, as well as abrasions on the neck and trauma to the left calf. The report indicates that these injuries are fresh and resulted from physical assault. Manoj was examined at 4:30 p.m. and his condition was assessed as stable with no life-threatening injuries reported. Manoj also alleged that his stepbrother Manchu Vishnu's bodyguards apparently pushed and shoved his security personnel and also removed all the CCTV cameras which had recorded the events, the feud between the father and the son. It has been speculated that Manoj and Vishnu, the stepbrothers. Now, Vishnu also lives in Dubai and is the president of the Movie Artist Association. Now, these two brothers, born to different mothers but the same father, that is Mohan Babu, had a fallout when Manoj said that the matter seems to be focused on a property dispute. Vishnu, of course, also arrived in Hyderabad, and when he was approached by media persons at the airport, he said that such quarrels were rather common in families. For more on this, I am joined by film critic Nagendra Kumar. Nagendra Kumar, welcome to the show. Very, very sad day, I must say. Yes, family quarrels happen. It happens in our family, in several other families, but not to such an extent. So tell me something. I mean, what we have been reading in newspapers and also gathered from our reporters and everyone is that this has been happening for a long time. It's clearly a property dispute, Nagendra.
Yes, it is a shocking surprise to the whole film industry even here in Hyderabad, because such problems have been surfacing for the last couple of years, but not in such a way like now, because there were a few disputes between Manchu, Vishnu and Manoj according to their policies and attitudes and everything, but Manoj has supported him during the May elections also at the time. There were never this kind of an atmosphere wherein people came out onto the streets and the entire family, reached police stations and made complaints against each other. This kind of an atmosphere is completely shocking to the whole film industry. But all things what now you have referred have been all they are correct to the present context. What all that took place in Hyderabad right now, and for the last 3 days there was a drama every hour, every half an hour. There is a new development and a new atmosphere wherein these people are, dragging swords against each other. This is a kind of atmosphere which Telugu industry has never experienced till now. And there are many families in Telugu film industry like that of Mohan Babu's. And Mohan Babu is such a very, a gentleman and a disciplined person. And he professes and teaches everybody discipline. And he is such a furious man, in fact, as far as the discipline of the family is concerned. He never let loose anybody to behave in their own way, or to move or to live in their own way. He has completely laid certain path to the whole family members on which they can really go forward with their targets, challenges. And he always, supported them in their own challenges and all that. But Manoj, what we in the last have been listening to was Manoj was not properly encouraged by the father, and Manchu Vishnu, the elder brother, has taken reins over everything, including that Sri Vidyaniketan administration and all that. Manoj himself alleging that there is some mismanagement, students' fees and all that in the institution. And those funds have been used for making films and all that, and he was alleging against all that.
Yeah, that's what we have also heard, Nagendra,
yes.
that, the university, which is very famous, run by Mohan Babu, it was given to the elder one, to Vishnu, to manage. But Manoj is today saying, I have no dispute with that. I have dispute because those students have been complaining that, there is some kind of not unfair practices which are being used. But my whole point is this. Of course, it's a dispute. Of course, it's about stepbrothers. It's an age-old dispute, no, Nagendra? It has happened in the Mahabharata. So who are we to talk about it? Brothers fighting each other. It is epic. But I'm asking you one thing. This Jalpalli Rangareddy property, who does it belong to? Because does it belong to Mohan Garu or does it belong to Manoj Garu? I mean, or is it a joint property?
It absolutely belongs to Mohan Babu Garu, and there is no question that it belongs to Manoj. But what Mohan Babu Garu complained to the police is that Manoj intentionally came there to own it or to occupy that house by sending these people out. That was the main complaint what Mohan Babu Garu made to the police. It was really again a shocking news, because how Manoj had gained that courage to stand in front of the father and behave like that. It's all what to say. It's all a a great surprise and a shocking surprise to everybody. But things have really moved in that direction, wherein all people, they are all at loggerheads with each other now. And Vishnu says one thing and Manoj says something else. But all people are supporting Manoj because he has got a very refined attitude and mindset and all that.
Yeah.
In view of all that point, people are extending their support to Manoj and finding faults with
but then no one
Vishnu.
will support any son striking the father and being violent. I mean, this is pure Kali Yuga. Thank you so much, Nagendra Kumar. I hope this dispute is solved sooner rather than later. Thank you very much for joining us on this top story, the family feud in actor Mohan Babu's family. Let's move on. The next story is the big political story in the South Indian today. The Panchamasalis hold protest demanding reservation, and the police uses force at Siddaramaia's government comes under tremendous pressure, as it were. All right, that's the big story. The Panchamasali agitation peaks with violent protest. We saw such protest today. It happened yesterday. It happened today. We shall show you the visuals on your screens right now. Tear gas shells were lobbed at the protesters. There you see the police trying to tell the agitators not to take it any further. Those are the latest visuals that you see first time on the South Indian. This show, all the flags. This is being led by the Panchamasalis in Belagavi amidst an extremely stormy winter session of the Karnataka Assembly in Belagavi. A big controversy is brewing in the state, and in focus are the Panchamasali Lingayats, a subcaste of Karnataka's dominant Lingayat community who are demanding inclusion in category 2A of the other backward classes or OBCs. Now for more than 3 years. Yes, this has a long history. What will this do? Well, this shall enable them to avail the 15% quota in government jobs and college admissions earmarked for the category, as against the 5% quota the Lingayat community currently enjoys under category 3B of Karnataka's OBC quota matrix. They came out agitating yesterday. On day one of the session, led by Sri Basavajaya Mrityunjaya Swami, and were denied permission to protest while sitting on tractors. The authorities said, no tractors. R. Ashoka LOP criticized the administration's move and compared the situation to an emergency-like situation and said, in an emergency imposed to prohibit the protest, does the public not have the right to dissent against the government? This approach resembles a dictatorial rule. Now look at this. Although the subcaste is part of the dominant Lingayat community, represented by powerful politicians such as former Chief Ministers B.S. Yadurappa, Baswaraj Bommai and Jagdish Shettar, the Panchamasalis have long felt very cheated and also economically deprived. Let's go back in history. In 2021, the then Chief Minister Yadurappa on the floor of the State Assembly had said, and I quote him, As per a cabinet decision to resolve demands for reservation by various castes under legal and constitutional norms, a 3-member committee is being constituted under the chairmanship of retired High Court Judge Subhash Adi. And then, Basanagowda Yatnal, the man who has created a storm in the BJP's cup today, took up the issue as he also belongs to the same community. Yes, he's a Panchamasali Lingayat. He said that the government owed it to the Panchamasalis, particularly the Congress government. Now, in the current scenario, Siddaramaiah, who find himself in a bind because Panchamasalis, also Lingayats, mainly voted for him, told the assembly that he will place before it the previous saffron party's government's affidavit to the Supreme Court on the issue and said it is maintaining status quo. But then a voice which rose to defend her community was that of Lakshmi Hebar, Minister of Women and Child Development. Listen to what she said.
ನೋಡಿ, ನಾನು ಸಮಾಜದ ಮಗಳಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಯಾಕಂತಂದರೆ ರಾಜಕಾರಣ ಬೇರೆ, ಸಮಾಜ ಬೇರೆ. ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ನನ್ನ ಸಮಾಜದ ಒಂದು ಕೂಗು 2A ಮೀಸಲಾತಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಕೂಗು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಸಪೋರ್ಟು, ನನ್ನದಾಗಲಿ, ನನ್ನ ತಮ್ಮ ಆಗಲಿ, ಮಗಂದಾಗಲಿ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸಂದೇಶವನ್ನು ಕೊಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈಗ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳು, ಸಮಾಜದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಾಂಧವರು ಈ ಹೋರಾಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಬೆಂಬಲ ಸೂಚಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
What shall be the repercussions of this protest by the Panchamasalis? Will it prove to be yet another thorn in Siddaramaiah's flesh? Because let's not forget, he did promise. And today, he could be seen as dilly-dallying and flip-flopping. Let's debate. I've got two guests, experts. Professor Chambi Puranik, senior political analyst, is on the show, and Ramkrishna Upadhyay, senior journalist. Namaskara to both of you. Professor Chambi Puranik, I have a basic question to ask, and it may be considered idiotic, but I will still ask it.
No.
And that being that whatever I have read about the Lingayats, the Veerashaiva movement, which was heralded and held by Basavanna, it was against the traditional caste system in Hinduism. All these bhakti poets, if you look at across India, and whether you look at Basavanna or Akka Mahadevi, they spoke against caste-ridden, upper caste kind of Brahmanism. So I don't understand really, and I'm very much for that, and I just don't understand why is it today the Panchamali, the Lingayats are asking for reservation. Is it because way back someone called Nirani had started all this?
See, Sudha, your question is not idiotic but highly relevant and pointed also. You have just put it in a very modest way. I would say that the Panchamasalis demand is there for last 3 to 4 years, and vigorously and aggressively they are pursuing it. But in the context of BJP's whatever kind of policy of giving them to reducing them to 3B, it has not helped them because it has taken Muslims quota and then it's a partition for this particular community, which will not make them happy also because they are very particular about 2A kind of reservation slot. So I think there are a lot of political, agendas behind this agitation, apart from the genuine concern of the people. But when you mentioned about Basavanna never worried or bothered or defended the sub-caste system in any caste, including the new dharma which he formulated in the context of Basava Dharma. I mean, those days he never bothered about creating a separate group, but he only wanted to amalgamate and invite people who are discriminated, who felt they are alienated, they are not recognized, and they should all work together. Kayakave Kailasa, work is worship. So, over a period of time, that work is worship reduced some of the subgroups within the Lingayat community or Veerashaiva community in terms of different castes itself. So, that particular thing is something which goes against the philosophy of Basava. He only thought of unifying people with the reform and also trying to give them a social status, which even including women, they were not getting earlier. So I think, there is a kind of gap, a very big gap between Basaveshwara's philosophy and the demand of Panchamasalis. Today politically, anybody can demand anything and all that. But when Chief Minister Siddaramaiah was given this kind of suggestion, so he invited them for talks and all that, but that did not happen. So Chief Minister himself could have gone there. After all, all these years, top leaders, chief ministers of BJP and Congress, they are hesitating to meet them. If they go with all protection that is there, I don't think the mob was violent. All that they were all emotionally charged. So Siddaramaiah could have said, what BJP government has done, I am going to do it, and I will ask the legal opinion and also go by the constitutional norms and all that. So
it's very convenient for him to now quote the constitution, but I recall both him and DK Shivakumar saying that they shall look into it after the Muslim petitioners went to court and it was struck down. I'll come to that later. This is the time for me to take a break, sir. I'll take a break and then I come back and then I go to Ramakrishna Upadhyay and then back to Professor Chambi Puranik. A very hot debate which is unfolding in Karnataka even as we speak. See you on the other side. Thank you.
You remember when someone had hit our car? I had got him to pay up for all the damage.
Yeah, so?
If something goes wrong in this guaranteed return share, I will complain to the exchange and get full compensation. See, there's an agreement.
Dad, you know what? Nobody can promise guaranteed high returns in the share market. Such illegal schemes are sheer fraud. The exchange will not give any compensation for these. That agreement is also useless.
सोच कर, समझ कर, invest कर.
Valuations can be frothy. Going public is almost like what some of us would like to say is the holy grail, right? IPOs are a trend, not a bubble.
Do secondary markets exist? Answer is absolutely yes, and it's been around for a very long time.
Valuations could be high or low, and valuations may correct over time, but IPOs are here to stay. It is basically a graduation ceremony of sorts. It is potentially where a startup stops being a startup and starts becoming an enterprise.
The IPO space has just started in the past 24 months. The startup ecosystem has been around for 15 years.
Fundamentally, if you have a strong business and you have predictability of cash flows and you can actually give with a fair degree of confidence where the business is headed, the market will reward you.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
All right, that's our main story. The Panchamasali agitation peaks with violent protests. I have two guests with me. Professor Chambi Puranik and I have Ramakrishna Upadhyay, senior journalist. Let me go to Ramakrishna Upadhyay. Ramakrishna Upadhyay, I want to ask you that Yadurappa, it cost Yadurappa his job and basically because of the growing dissent, amongst the Lingayats, and then came Basavaraj Bommai, and see what Bommai did in 23. You know it. I want the viewers to know that what he did was he scrapped the 4% quota under category 2B for Muslims and distributed amongst the Vokkaligas and the Lingayats, which increased the Lingayats, the figure from 5 to 7, if I'm not wrong, or yeah, it was 5 to 7. But then the Muslim petitioners went to court and it was struck down because the court said it was very shaky and very flaky. Today, if you look back, Ramakrishna Upadhyay, do you think the BJP did a great disservice and have really confused it to such an extent that it has to be unraveled with utmost care, Ramakrishna Upadhyay?
Yes, Sudha, I think it's a very, very tricky situation for BJP as well as the Congress. But, look at this, the irony. These people who claim to be followers of Basavarna's ideology, now demanding reservation. Basavarna was the one, who wanted abolition of all castes and communities. He was against, caste system. So, being their followers, and these people now want reservation in his name. So that is the irony, that apart. I think the politics has now overtaken every caste and community, and there's no wonder that, especially in Karnataka, we have all these dominant communities demanding more and more reservation, and at whose cost? See, the percentage of reservation cannot increase. The Supreme Court has put a ceiling of 50%. And unless it is amended, or unless the Supreme Court itself agrees to increase reservation, it cannot be done without taking it from somebody else's pocket. So where will the whether it is the Congress or the BJP find the additional reservation which the Lingayats or the Panchamasalis in particular are demanding? So that is the crux of the problem. But now what I find is Siddaramaiah is playing his own politics. He knows that the Panchamasalis are unhappy with the BJP because the Panchamasalis were ignored during the Lok Sabha elections. Not many were given tickets, and even during the 3 by-elections. I mean, you remember in Shigam, they very much wanted a Panchamasali to be given a ticket, and in spite of that, the Basuraj Bommai's son, Bharat, was given the ticket. He is not a Panchamasali; he's a Southern community. So all this is building up. And Siddaramaiah knows that the Panchamasalis are angry with the BJP, and he wants to somehow, take a section of them into the Congress fold. So that is why he is trying to be conciliatory, and that's why he's allowed this protest to happen. I mean, normally the governments don't allow the protests. I mean,
but Ramakrishna, yesterday they stopped them and they said, is it an emergency? Today also, there's been tear gas shelling. Look at those visuals on the screen. There has been a lot of they have been press ganged, as it were. And Mrityunjay Swami has said, what is this? Don't we have a right? He's been protesting for years now. He's made it his pet kind of a project as of now. But it is not as if the authorities have been very, very clear, Ramakrishna.
No, see, the fact is the government, in fact, Home Minister Parmeshwar said, we will allow, the protest to a certain extent. He said they should not bring big, tractors. They should, come in smaller vehicles. But we will allow the protest a little bit away from the Suvarna Sauda in Belgaum. So that was the plan yesterday. But probably looking at the crowd, the size of the crowd, the police had no choice but to wield the lathis and the tear gas. So these are very, very tricky situations. It's not easy to handle them. And
you are saying we should leave it to the court, Ramakrishna Upadhyay.
Yes, absolutely.
But the court has said status quo. So Siddaramaiah is actually in a bind. You can't promise me something and then say, hey, the constitution says this. Then why did you promise me in the first place? You won an election, no? You ran with it. That does not mean that he shouldn't have, because the BJP really did very badly with the Lingayats, as it were. Let me come back to you, Ramakrishna. Professor Puranik, the point of the matter is, within the Lingayats, there are so many subcastes. It is so complicated, my God. Now this Panchamasalis say that what is this about putting us in 2A? We want 15% in government jobs and others because we are backward. We don't have any agricultural land. We have nothing. Now look at it. There is a court order as of now which says, okay, like Ramakrishna said, you can't increase it just because, I like you and you like me. There is a Karnataka Backward Commission as well which is sitting there. The point is that how does one balance this out, Professor? If they are really backward economically and socially, which they say they are, one can't just compare them with the Yadurappas and the Shettars of the world, no?
Yeah, you see, the mistake done by all governments, including the present government, is they don't have proper statistics. And they say that backward commission report will be published and all that. It is just lying in the, cold storage for a long time. I think there is a lot of, as Mr. Upadhyay mentioned, there is also a kind of political game that is being played by all the governments. Because in the present government, they are very powerful and important Panchamasali ministers, and their role is only to appeal. Other than appealing, they are not in a position to convince the chief minister, nor their Swamiji and followers of Panchamasalis, saying that this is a constitutional issue. Let us wait for the court's whatever observations and all that. Definitely, the court has its own kind of clarity and impartiality in terms of giving justice to the people. But where are the statistics? If you say that Panchamasalis should be given 2A, there are other Lingayat group subcastes which are equally bad or vulnerable, and they also start demanding. So where is the end for it? I'm not saying Panchamasali's demand is wrong. All that I am saying is there is not much of data and homework made by the present government and the previous government. The previous government, escaping the wrath of Panchamasalis, it tried to do this and that, cut and paste kind of reservation. So that is not the kind of leadership or statesmanship that the people like chief ministers do it. They should not do it. So presently, what Siddaramaiah is taking stance is that the Panchamasali demand will be considered. Considered means in politics, any kind of promise, it is a double-edged kind of promise.
Absolutely.
So it is not going to help either. So this kind of appeasement, wiping the tears, should be done on the basis of scientific data.
Right. Very right. Scientific way, but the scientific way, like you said, since 2015, we've all been waiting for the scientific report to come after leaks, after leaks, after leaks, and after so many and saying anyway, I mean, that's the story we are all waiting for. Ramkrishna Upadhyay, the thing is, look at the way the Congress is in a bind. The caste survey is not out yet. But we all know that both the Lingayats and the Vokkaligas are supremely angry about it. They are miffed. They feel their influence will reduce. You think Congress is very nervous? Because they need the support of, category A OBC communities. Do you think they will lump all the Lingayats together under the OBC for a balancing act?
No, I don't think that is possible. And also the Congress will not do it because their core vote bank is that of OBCs and Muslims. So they will not touch it. Whatever the Bommai government did, they also would like to undo it. I mean, 4% reservation, which has been there for more than 30 years, given to the Muslims, were taken away conveniently by Basuraj Bommai and given to Lingayats and Vokkaligas. But that I don't think that will work even with the court. So that is on one side. And secondly, you see, you are trying to woo various communities with all kinds of allurements, but you simply don't have the means to do it. So I think what they're trying to do is now put Vijendra on the mat, put BJP on the mat, because they want to, woo a section of Lingayats to the Congress side. They know Basanagowda Patil is playing a big game within the BJP, and probably he's in a way hand in glove with the BJP in this particular aspect. If at all they're able to give some certain percentage of reservation for the Panchamasalis, then he may be victory for Yatnal. And they might adopt him within their party. So a section of Lingayats, if they start supporting the Congress, and it will be a big danger for the BJP, which I am sure they realize it.
All right. So, I am asking you, you've given me a very good point. Professor Chambi Puranik, like, Ramkrishna Upadhyay said, Yatnal is at the center of all this. They rebel with many causes. He's creating a problem in the BJP's cup of coffee. And also he's been today, suddenly he will become a hero of the Panchamasali Lingayats because he belongs to that community. He will say, I will get you your rights, etc., etc., etc. Now look at it, the Congress. If it does something, it will be seen to be, of course, like Ramkrishna says, putting Vijendra on the mat. But somewhere, by not being non-committal, isn't it also the Congress party and Siddaramaiah particularly giving a chance to Yatnal to kind of, go with a hog horn and shout his cause?
Yatnal is, I think, a committed leader for Panchamasali reservation to a status. So there is no doubt about it and about his integrity or whatever the commitment. I think there is no doubt about it. But the point is, Mr. Yatnal having been close to Siddaramaiah and also having been kind of a person who has appreciated Siddaramaiah in the house itself, assembly, I think he should have discussed with both the Panchamasali leaders, Swamiji and Siddaramaiah, and brought them together. Instead of that, today's agitation and yesterday's agitation, with all the kind of security measures that are there, I think it has not succeeded, but it has created a kind of impact on the minds of the public of Karnataka that Panchamasalis are given wrong deal or raw deal. That kind of impression has gone through. That message is very clear. Regarding Mr. Yatnal's role, in order to bring both the Chief Minister, the government and the Panchamasali Swamiji and followers, I think it has not done. Because in Panchamasali itself, there are two groups which are opposing each other. That Murugesh Jarani and others, they always take a stand saying that we are not bothered about the leadership of Mr. Yatnal. And also, Yatnal says, I don't care for these people who are who are useless for the Panchamasali community. So this kind of political discourse, which is very low, it only, I think, it stays for a day or two. Afterwards, it
that's what I was.
So therefore, this is not going to make a big impact.
Yeah, but as of now, if you look at the visuals, Professor, anything becomes big, no? In our country, we are now a dramatic country. Look at it. I mean, people running around, police running around. On a day when we've lost SM Krishna also, I mean, if no one is giving it up, I mean, look at that. I mean, people are running around, rushing about. You're right. It may last a day or two. Ramkrishna Upadhyay, do you think it will last? It's just a storm in a teacup, or do you think it's going to have a long repercussion, particularly on the Congress party? That the Lingayats and the Vokaligas came towards them. Even the Muslims voted in the thing, you know, for the Congress party for them to have such a fabulous victory. Will this be the beginning when they move away yet again?
I think, the Panchamasalis will now go after the Congress. They will say, look, you have promised something, you deliver it.
Yes.
Because see, and in the last election, 2023 elections, as we all know, the Lingayats voted in a huge manner to the Congress party. So they expect the Congress to, give them the returns for what they've done. So if they don't do it, then the Congress party will be in trouble. So that is the reason why I think Siddaramaiah finds himself in the dock on this issue. So he is also trying to, fan the trouble within the BJP, but it can also, the fire can also hit him, because the Lingayats and the Panchamasalis are not going to leave him if he, doesn't fulfill the promise that he has made so far.
Okay. And on that note, thank you very much, Professor Chambi Puranik. Always such a pleasure, sir, to have you. Ramkrishna Upadhyay, thank you so much for joining us on this riveting debate. Thank you indeed. The third story in the South Indian. The controversy over Telangana Thalli statue rages on. BRS holds Palabhishekam. Revath Reddy defends the new design and the statue. Coming up next on the South Indian.
The beauty is of leadership being able to acknowledge and flex and mold and inspire and get the best out of their people.
Unfortunately, there's no holy grail. There can be an organization that's the darling of the market, doing well, delivering results.
If Shakespeare had been there, I think probably he would have written another tragic comedy.
The wages, the work conditions of these white-collared workers is far better and much higher than those of blue-collared workers.
Unfortunately, that is what I believe has deteriorated big time.
There could be regional offices, there could be country-specific offices where the atmosphere is very toxic, and this is reality.
On human narrative of how corporate India or any corporate world functions, sadly.
So generally in the beginning, when the white-collar jobs were on the rise, it was felt, especially by the white collar workers, because they were too self-centered, individualistic, and they did not feel the need to come together and bargain for better work conditions, safety at workplaces.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
All right, that's one of our main stories. The controversy over Telangana Thalli continues. The political storm in Telangana over the installation of the redesigned statue of Telangana Thalli, or Mother of Telangana, intensified as leaders and supporters of the Bharati Rashtriya Samiti, or BRS, from across the state took to the streets in protest. They have, as of now, been detained. Look at those visuals and I come back. There you see Kavita, daughter of KCR, performing Palabhishekam on the old statue of Telangana Thalli. With slogans of Jai Telangana. The Telangana Thalli statue has become a prestige issue amongst parties, with each party appropriating the statue to show how loyal they are to the cause of the people of Telangana. That is the old statue, ladies and gentlemen, of Telangana Thalli. The protests sparked off even before Chief Minister Revath Reddy unveiled the new statue of Telangana Thalli, the Telangana mother. There you see Revath Reddy performing the puja to install the new statue of Telangana Thalli.
Om ya faleria bhavsma ya sufne brahasrodas adhedarada dravan draven habisha tasmai devadi brahmanna ayanja brahmana.
The BRS had accused the Congress and Revath Reddy of having insulted the statue and also trying to erase the legacy of KCR. A call was then given by BRS Working President K.T. Ramarao, asking the party cadre to purify the statues of the older Telangana Thalli in different parts of the state. Therefore, as you see on your screen, led by K. Kavita, party workers performed the Palabhishekam, which means pouring pure milk on a statue of the oldest statue at the Telangana Bhavan, and sought her blessings as well as forgiveness for what they called were sins committed by Chief Minister Revath Reddy.
Well, unfortunately, the idol that he has unveiled has not been discussed with anybody. In fact, it was kept a secret until it was unleashed. Why so much fear? If it was a emotive issue for 4 crore people, he could have unveiled it. He could have openly discussed it with everybody. He did not. He just put it. I think media also chased to get a glimpse of what was there. You know it very well. So I am only saying that it is a fear that Revath Reddy has, that because he has always opposed the formation of Telangana, his name is not there in the history. Now he is trying to somehow make a comeback into the history of Telangana, which is not going to happen.
Chief Minister Revath Reddy meanwhile defended the new design, saying that the idea of Telangana Thalli is not just a statue, but an emotion shared by all the people of Telangana. The Congress government also defended its move, saying that no official design of the Telangana Thalli was ever formalized by the previous government, and hence a formal design was now approved by the current administration. So what is the controversy which has raged on for 2 whole days in the recent past and for many months, actually since August, when he decided to lay the foundation of the Telangana Thalli? The earlier image of the goddess shows her dressed in a pink silk sari meant to represent the famous silks of Gadwal and Pochampalli. On her head is a crown and she is holding maize in one hand, reflecting the prosperity of the region. On her other hand is a Batukamma pot, the cultural symbol of Telangana's biggest festival for all the women. Her feet show her wearing toe rings symbolic of married women, signifying the filigree ornaments of Karimnagar, and around her waist is a gold waistband. Now the new statue shows the Thalli in a green sari, and missing from the statue are the crown, the Batukama pot and also the waistband. The palm of the new image is not open, but like both the BJP and the BRS have accused the Congress, it is an Abhayastam mudra, which is also the Congress's party's electoral symbol. Has Telangana Thalli become the latest issue for parties in the state to protest and create agitations? Isn't the symbol of a mother common to all, however differently she is represented, at variance with the sentiments of the people? Let me now go to the Express. Adanki Daikar, spokesperson for the TPCC, is here, and Revath Reddy, who is the spokesperson for BRS, is also here. Let me first go to Adanki Daikar. Sir, the point is that what is the reason, I want to know, that you wanted to change the entire imagery of Telangana Thalli? You know, she reminds me, I'm sorry to say, of the Janata Dal secular image. I remember they used to have an image like that. The green sari representing the peasants, the red sari representing, of course, a woman, and holding crops in her hand. What was the need, sir, to change the design?
Yeah, madam. Good evening.
Hi.
BRS क्या है भारत राष्ट्र समिति previous Telangana Thalli. This is new Telangana People's and Cabinet ratified Telangana Thalli. Since 10 years, TRS in the power, they didn't think about the Telangana Thalli. They can prepare their own Thalli for themselves only, but not the Telangana people. Previously, green shaded Telangana Thalli is there, but they changed it into pink, right? So this is completely political allegation on the government. But today, Assembly discussed about the Telangana Thalli. Telangana, all parties agreed to the Telangana Thalli Murti. So
protested,
one
no.
of the party.
No, BRS protested, they have been detained, no. BJP is also protested.
They are in the outside of the assembly.
So
why they are
that's a
not
protest.
involved
It's a
in the
democratic. No, sir. It's a democratic right.
They boycott.
They boycotted. That's why I'm asking you. You're not. You're said from pink. They had pink. We changed it to green. What was the need?
Yep.
Are you saying that the Telangana Thalli, jo abhi hai, it represents the people of the state? I mean, are you saying that she is a peasant woman? She's very simple, like most ammas are. She's not someone who's wearing a crown and a waistband. Rich, who looks rich.
Yeah, ma'am. Natural Telangana women क्या मूर्ति है नेचुरल वो टीआरएस का मूर्ति क्या है पूरा रानी जैसा
अच्छा
ये रानी जैसा तेलंगाना तल्ली नेचुरल
ओके
मेरा तेलंगाना तल्ली लाइक माय मॉम my aunt my sister like that so they want to always kingdom KCR always
okay, I understand. So that is more royalty, regal. Yours is more simple. Revath Reddy garu, I want you to come in. You know, why make such a big issue about this? I don't understand. You had one deity. You know, wherever we went to Telangana Bhavan, in front, every office has this. Am I right? What is the big deal? A mother is a mother, you know. Are you saying because you were the ones who agitated for a separate state of Telangana, therefore Telangana Thalli should look like the way you wanted her to look and the change is not acceptable? Everything undergoes a change, I say, Reddy Garu. What's your objection?
See, I don't think, Revath Reddy's government setting a wrong precedent. I don't think, it is appropriate that whenever government changes, design changes as well. No, it is not acceptable. And the previous design of Telangana Thalli was well accepted across Telangana, society. And then when the Telangana Thalli design was made by Sri KCR under his leadership, all the sections of the society were taken into confidence. Poets, writers, civil society, various sections of the society, their representatives were consulted. And after the agreement, after a proper consent, that design was accepted And if
All
you
right,
look at
Reddy Garu, I want to,
entire
yeah, I
Telangana.
understand. You had a lot of people, there was a committee, but I want you to purely concentrate on what is your objection to the new imagery.
The objection is clear. Objection is clear. First of all, there was no need for any changes.
Okay.
It is out of personal egos and just an effort to leave their mark on Telangana Thalli statue and want to do politics, number one. Number two, this design is more or less, Congress Thalli. People are saying that.
Okay.
Just not me saying that, the hand that is shown.
Hastam,
No Thalli,
Abhay Hastam. Yeah.
no mother. Sudhaji, you know very well. No mother blesses their children like that. They're trying to, the hand symbolizes Congress official election symbol.
But she's
And
not a
they
mother
have
like
removed-
me, no. By the way, I am also Telangana Thalli, I was born there. I'm not saying that she's
Yes.
not, they're not talking about me. But she's a goddess. I mean, she represents the
That's what I'm
state,
saying.
the aspirations.
A goddess. What's wrong? They are also saying that the earlier design symbolizes the rich. No. Who doesn't want their mother to be rich? Who doesn't want their mother to look good?
But yours is a
Not
poor state, sir. India is a poor
Absolutely
country.
not. How come it is? I'm sorry. I don't want to call my state as a poor state, call my country as poor. I don't want to. I want my state.
All right, I've understood. Okay, I've understood.
Finally, one thing.
Yeah.
And they have removed Batukamma from
Yeah.
the statue,
Yeah.
which pains it a lot.
Yeah.
No, it did not go well with the Telangana society.
Yeah,
It was
let me,
identity.
I understand because
Batukamma
Kavita
was an
Garu,
identity.
because I have just 1 minute left. Kavita Garu also encouraged Batukamma to a great extent in the state. Anniki Dayakar, I want to come to you. Why are you changing? I see that there are a lot of changes like Reddy Garu is saying. You've changed the logos, you've changed the name of the schemes, and now you've changed the Telangana Thalli completely. What are you going to achieve out of it? 5 years you're in power. What happens after you lose? Then again a new Telangana Thalli will come. What is this?
Madam.
Mother is being made into a joke, sir, which is not nice.
Madam, we
Boliye.
dedicated to the state. Andesri, one famous writer is here. Jai Jai Hai Telangana song is there.
Yes.
Thousands of, not lakhs of voices raised that song, but they didn't accept the song as a state anthem. Since 9 years they are in the power, why they dedicated or unveiled Telangana Thalli? What is the problem of KCR and BRS? They changed their name also, but we changed my Thalli's nature. That's it. There is no क्या है किरीट मातृमूर्ति जैसा नहीं है, गॉडेस नहीं है. नेचुरल लेडी, जस्ट ट्रेडिशनल लेडी, तेलंगाना लेडी का जैसा मूर्ति है. क्या प्रॉब्लम है? बीआरएस का प्रॉब्लम क्या है? Why you are not dedicated Telangana Thalli to the Telangana Jati? You people are thinking about yourself. They want to establish KCR statue in front of the parliament secretariat. They want to put their own symbols, Telangana people. But we made it with poets and writers. Telangana civil society also agreed that.
Okay. But what I think is that this kind of politics, where new party comes and changes everything, is a complete waste of time and resources.
There is no change, ma'am. Please,
there is a
please
change.
understand myself.
Pink and green sari is not a change. If you wear a green shirt and don't wear a pink shirt, I
have a murti. I have a murti with green shirt.
Sir, I have completely.
Green sari. Whenever they started.
Sir, I've completely run out of time. Thank you both so much for joining us on this debate. Unfortunately, that's the time I have. But like I said, let the mother be the mother. A mother, whether she's in a pink sari or a green sari is the same. Only thing is whether she's prosperous or not is something which is being questioned so far as the Telangana Thalli is concerned. On your screens right now, the old image in a pink sari wearing a crown and a waistband, and the new one in a green sari on your right. And with that, we come to an end of the South Indian, the only show from the nation which talks about all the news from the south of India. Until tomorrow, goodbye, stay well, Vanakkam.